Okay. I want to give you a chance to get a little break before the next session. But again, it's great that you shared your story with people at your table. You know, as you continue with the conference and even after the conference tomorrow, etc., take the story that you've started with and start sharing it with people and get some feedback, but certainly develop it into a lightning talk. So I'm going to do a quick wrap up, and usually, you know, you ask me the questions, so today I'm going to ask you the questions since we want to do creative Q&A. So we first talked about stage fright, right? And what did I suggest? What was one of the techniques that I suggested for stage fright? Oh, everyone's doing it. Awesome. Power pose. Yes. We even got the AV guys to do it. Yeah. They need to feel more powerful as well, even if they're not on stage. All right, and then I gave you a second technique. What was the second technique? Meet and greet. Awesome. So hopefully you'll do this as well as you continue to do your presentations, whether they're internal or external. All right, then I shared a method for digging into your expertise. What was that method? Inventory method. And what did I suggest? How do you use the inventory method? Perfect. Take what you've been working on for the last 3 to 12 months. All A+ students in here. And then I mentioned why it's important to engage your audience, right? And how do you figure out who your audience is? Ask, right? Ask the organizer. And then anything else? Who's it going to benefit? Yeah, make sure you highlight that in the summary of the talk that you're giving so that people know. And then I suggested that if you do give your talk, right, you want to keep it engaging, you want people to be involved, so we talked about storytelling. And there were 2 types of storytelling that I talked about. What was the first example or technique that I talked about with storytelling? A personal story. How many of you decided to go the personal story route as you were doing your practice? Okay. So I think imagine wins, I guess, right? Does everybody kind of create an imagine scenario? Okay, great. So that's all I've got for today. If you like this was just a teaser, and a lot of the exercises are based on a second book, which is coming out next week. So if you want to check it out, here's the URL. And I know we've already done Q&A, so I don't know if we've got time for... All right, but I'll be hanging around until the end, so feel free to come up and chat with me. Thank you all.
Purnima, thank you. That's a lot to be up on stage for that long. Like Purnima, you're a powerhouse.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so we're gonna take about a 10-minute break and then come back. And here's the deal: I'm gonna read you something before we take it. So just really quickly, I was reading the New York. Let me get my brain back in. Hello, brain, Courtney. The Richmond Times-Dispatch. That was hard to get to. That was funny. So there's this great little article in the back, and I wrote this down. It was after, at the state fairgrounds, they had a running with the bulls. Remember that? They had, like, you come in, you could run with the bulls. We probably didn't do it in this room, but people did. And so I wrote this little article. I'm going to read it to you. It says, on the one hand, it was the silliest thing I've covered in over 40 years of covering silly things daily. But for many, if not all the people who took part, it was clearly an opportunity to feel alive for just a moment, to connect with humanity's atavistic past in what is for most people increasingly a world of carefully muted experiences. And I wrote that down because of that last line, a world of carefully muted experiences. And I have no interest in being a part of a carefully muted experience, ever. Come on, baby. So, this conference is not a carefully muted experience. It is rolling at really exciting places. We're going to take now an 8-minute break. And what I'd love for you to do, and the reason why is because Meg is getting her makeup on right now and is about to be on screen with us, and we want to be here when she's here so we don't miss a second of her. So what I want you to do with like very much purpose and energy is get up and walk outside and find some sunlight. And then whoever's standing next to you in the sunlight, I want you to just look at them and tell them what your one word is. Like if you had one word, you could own one word, what would that be and why? And just tell them. You know, like my one word right now would be, Rudy. It would be Rudy, because that was a dog I loved. You just make it up. You can't be wrong. That's just what I came up. Rudy Moody. So get up fast, outside sunlight, one word, and then come on back in.